Welcome to The Explainer, where we deconstruct fascinating ideas from source materials to see how they work. Today we're tackling something pretty wild, a source that claims to have found a 7,000-year clock hidden deep within the Bible.
So what if the Bible isn't just a collection of stories and laws, but a hidden prophetic clock ticking away since the dawn of creation? That's exactly the idea we're digging into today. Let's see how it's all pieced together.
Okay, so the entire system, and I mean the whole thing, is built on one core idea. It all comes down to a single verse that's treated like a key, a key to unlock this entire timeline.
And here it is. This verse isn't just interpreted as a nice saying, it's taken as a direct blueprint. The idea is that those 7 days of creation you read about in Genesis, they aren't just 24-hour days. Nope. Each one represents a 1,000-year period of human history.
So this creates this incredible 7,000-year map for all of humanity, where each day has its own prophetic theme based on what happened during creation. But a map is pretty useless if you don't know where to start, right? So how on earth do you begin to plot actual history onto this thing?
Well, to build this timeline, the source had to create its very own unit of measurement. We're going to call them atom years, and they start right at the very beginning, at the moment of creation.
And you might think this is going to get super complicated, but the method is actually surprisingly simple. There are no complex codes or secret messages. It's all just basic addition, using the begat ages you see listed right there in the genealogies of Genesis.
So you literally just follow the chain. You start with Adam at year 0. When he has Seth at age 130, the clock moves to year 130. Then Seth has Enos at 105, so you add that, and now you're at year 235. But just doing this simple math, generation after generation, the source builds this really precise internal clock, all from the text itself. It's a completely self-contained system. And once you have this system, you can start pinpointing some huge biblical events on this clock. The Great Flood happens in Adam year 1656, Abraham is born around year 2008, the Exodus from Egypt in 2523. But, and this is the big question, this is all still an internal timeline. It's all in atom years. How in the world does this connect to our calendar, to BC and AD?
And that brings us to what is maybe the most important part of this whole thing, the anchor. This is the moment where that internal biblical clock gets synced up with the calendar we all use every day.
Think about it. You've got two different clocks ticking away. To make them work together, you need one single shared event, a moment in history that exists on both timelines. You need a bridge to connect them.
So, where do they find this bridge? Well, the source points to the Book of 1 Kings. The linchpin event is the moment that construction began on Solomon's temple. This one event becomes the bridge that connects the two separate timelines. Okay, so here's how the math works. The source takes a widely accepted historical date for when temple construction started, which is 967 BC. At the same time, that internal clock we just built, well, it places that exact same event in Adam year 3003. And boom, there's your link. Adam year 3003 equals 967 BC. Now the entire 7,000-year timeline can be translated into dates we understand. Okay, so now that the timelines are synced up, this is where it gets really interesting. The source claims we can actually start to see these prophetic parallels play out through real recorded history. Let's look at a fascinating example that pops up on day 4. So remember day 4 from that first chart? In Genesis, this is the day God created the great lights, the sun, the moon, and the stars.
Well, when you run the numbers, the birth of Jesus lands in Adam year 3966. And where does that fall? Right near the end of the fourth 1,000-year period, day 4. For the source, this is just, wow, a powerful parallel. The true light of the world arriving in the historical era that's symbolized by the creation of the great lights.
So this brings us all the way to our time, to the present day. And this leads to the source's big conclusion about where we are right now on this massive 7,000-year clock. So how do they figure out where we are today? They use that same anchor point. They take the 3003 atom years up to the temple, add the 967 years from then to year 1 AD, and then add the 2,030 years since. Oh, and they subtract 1 because there was no year 0. And when you do all that math, it turns out the year AD 2030 will mark the completion of atom year 5,999.
So what does that mean? The implication is kind of staggering. This system places us right at the very, very end of the sixth 1,000-year day. According to this clock, we are literally moments away from the 6,000-year mark.
And in this interpretation, the end of that sixth day isn't just another tick of the clock. It's a period of absolutely immense prophetic significance. It's seen as the time for the completion of God's work, leading to these huge events like the first resurrection and the beginning of that final 1,000-year period, the great millennium, the Sabbath rest for the whole world.
Now, it is really, really important to point this out. The author includes a crucial disclaimer. They are very clear, this is not about claiming Jesus will return in 2030. It's about identifying a prophetic season, not predicting a specific date. The idea here is to understand the times, not to set some kind of doomsday clock.
So in the end, what we have here is this incredibly complex, self-contained system for reading history through a prophetic lens. Is it just an intricate theological puzzle, or is it a genuine blueprint for all of human history? The clock, as they lay it out, just keeps on ticking. And what that all means, well, that's left for you to decide.